starting to get old in the face.
Happy Memorial Day, Josh.
Happy Memorial Day, Nick. Did you start already?
We're on.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Getting old in the face over there.
I am. I'm with some wrinkles. I got crow's feet like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what happens.
I'm live with TikTok right now, too.
Fuck TikTok.
Why is that?
I'm coming back.
Yeah, if anybody knows how to get a TikTok after you've been banned from TikTok, let me know.
Yeah, you told me there's a way, but the person that told you could tell you, you burnt that bridge.
I mean, I feel like I did. When you peddle bullshit, I don't care who you are. That's why I don't pick sides. I'm very neutral with everything. There's no fucking, oh, well, I like you, so it doesn't matter if you do bad. If you do something bad and I like you, I'm still going to tell you you did something bad. That's why these politics bullshit doesn't, I don't play left or right.
That's good. Stick to your standards.
I definitely do. You know what?
You know what?
I decided maybe I should wet my mouth with something sweet.
Yuck.
You don't like the blue kind?
Nah, I'm a green one. I like the green. All right.
There's two greens, right?
Serious question.
All right.
Okay. Do you get belly button lint?
Yeah. Do you know about belly button lint?
Bro.
I know about belly button lint.
Bro. I have an unlimited supply of belly button lint for some reason. Every time I take a shower, I have some, right? Bro, I should be missing a couple shirts right now with the amount of material. I should be missing like a shirt or two for sure.
Have you how's your lint trap on your dryer? Does it fall fast?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the kind of shirts you get or come undone really well. Do they in the belly button area, do they get a little thin?
No.
No?
But in a survival situation, I'm fucking good, dude. I got
fire.
I got
well,
Tinder.
You want to hear something about belly button lint that I learned? Is that it's from everywhere. It's your body circling it out. They found traces of Japanese dirt and this American guy's belly button lint, and they're like, well, how the fuck is that possible? If he's never been out of the country. Because your belly button's kind of like your nose. You're just it filters out that shit.
Bro, my belly button lint scared the shit out of me a couple times. I was showering, right? And the water came down and it rinsed it out, and I didn't notice it, and I looked down.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to burp my mic.
It's fine. I looked down and I thought I had a spider on me. Anyway. Belly button lint is weird.
I went to post a thirst trap on TikTok one time, and I zoomed in on my belly button, and I was like, what the fuck? And instead of posting a thirst trap, I posted a lint trap. My belly button was fucking full as fuck. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that.
So speaking of belly buttons, congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Did you cut one?
I did cut one.
You cut it?
I cut it. I cut all three of them.
Josh just had his third kid.
Yep, baby girl.
Baby girl. What's her name?
Cadence.
Good name.
Fucking yeah, that was a
So
fun.
you cut the umbilical cord?
Yeah.
Did they ask you if you wanted to keep the placenta or something weird?
Yeah, they wanted to know. This is people ask to keep the placenta all the time. Some people eat it. Some people bury it and grow shit in their gardens. They call them the trees of life. People will plant a tree on top of the placenta.
I wonder what's the percentage of people that actually do it.
Yeah, I have no idea. But the birth went well. It was easy. There wasn't a stressful birth. With the last kid, came out in 20 minutes. We went to the hospital and the baby was out in 20 minutes. This time she was able to get whatever the fuck you call that thing in the back.
Epidural.
Yeah, epidural.
Yeah, the girls are crazy, dude.
Yeah, that shit could fuck up your spine, could it not?
Dude, they going like savage beasts.
Well, that's how it was with the last kid.
Just pop them out within minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my first kid was like a 9-hour birth. So I kind of expected that with the second kid. But we went natural, like all natural, not even at the hospital natural. Like at someone's house in a bathtub natural. She ended up needing to get a C-section though, so we did have him at the hospital. But the whole birthing process was like 9 hours. And then with the second kid, got to the hospital and he was out in 20 minutes. She was already so far along, they couldn't even give her the epidural. So she did that all natural.
That's just wild.
This time we got there with enough time to do the epidural. But it was all right.
I hope this audio doesn't come out trash because my neighbor is freaking weed whacking.
I mean,
I can hear it.
We got caught in Washington on a sunny day. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Can't blame him.
Yeah, can't blame him. Get it while you can. Tomorrow it could be raining.
All right. So, before we get into
the thick of it,
the science that you wanted to talk about, I came across an interesting video. You ever wonder why the ice cream machine's always down at McDonald's?
Why is the ice cream machine down at McDonald's all the time?
Do you think they're lying, or?
I do. I feel like
I think that it's an opportunity to use that as an excuse if you're a lazy employee, but I figured out some truth. You want to know what it is?
What?
All right. So, McDonald's has a contract with a company called Taylor that makes these ice cream machines. They're locked in, right? Taylor's got it. They got it in. They got the contract.
Do they repair them as well?
Yep. So, in daily, you have to run a self-clean on it. And often when it gets...
Like being the judge, the juror, and the executioner.
Taylor's getting them, dude. So, it runs a self-clean, which takes 4 hours, okay? And often when it gets to the end of the cycle, an error code comes up, which won't allow it to work.
To do anything.
So you either have to run it again, which is going to take 4 hours, okay? Or you have to call a technician from Taylor to come out, and they charge $315 per 15 minutes.
That's funny.
So...
How do they? But you would assume that they'd be able to push themselves out of the contract because they are the purchaser.
They are locked in, bro. They're locked in.
Locked in. How do you get locked in? Is what I'm getting at.
I don't know. You sign
Especially
a deal.
with a company like McDonald's.
It's the type of ice cream that it does and all that. You know what I mean? You know how their shit's all fucking smooth and it's weird. It's not even real ice cream. But if you notice recently, they're trying to bring in like slushies and shit.
Yeah.
Because people want them cool treats in the summer.
You would think that they'd go through somebody else for a different milkshake machine or something. You know, because I'd pull up and I'd be like, "Hey, can I get a milkshake?" And they'd be like, "Our ice cream machine's down." Because who the fuck goes to McDonald's and orders a cone? I mean, I guess like kids. But I would assume that they sell more milkshakes than they do cones. So why the fuck are you having an ice cream machine maker make your fucking cone? Well, I mean, I guess there's McFlurries.
Yep.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. I just don't ever order McFlurries. I feel like they're too expensive for what they are.
They're alright. They ain't nothing special.
The only cool thing is like the medicine straw it comes with.
Yeah.
It's just like a medicine straw with the fucking top cut off.
Yep. Anyways, I just wanted to say that.
Speaking of, then,
a stupid
you think
video.
they have 100% beef? Think
McDonald's?
Yeah. I think it's 100% beef.
I think
100%
so.
Chicken. Do you think it's farmed beef or chicken?
Yeah, but I think probably the process that we're thinking of is a lot different than the actual process of what they have.
They make their hot dogs like people make hamburgers.
I mean, how many boot-shaped chicken nuggets are going to come out naturally? Fucking.
Well, I mean, so what you do with that, I figured this out this weekend, actually, because I wanted to make my own take on McDonald's chicken nuggets, because I make good chicken nuggets, but it always comes out like fried chicken strips.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make like a nugget encased in delicious breading. So I figured out that if you like blend the chicken up and then push it into your own patty and then deep fry that shit in your breading, then it comes out a certain way. But who's to say they're not, 100% chicken, 100% cow, 100% beef could be chopped up fucking
In an operation that
chitlins,
big.
brains, tongues, ears, 100% beef, buttholes, all that stuff. And anyway,
Yeah, I be
You
getting
don't
cravings sometimes for,
you think maybe they clone any of their meat?
I don't know. It's possible. I think. That'd be like the quickest way, right?
I mean, it
To make a
would-
billion.
it
You
would-
ever seen that? We serve 1.7 billion people daily. you
yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was daily, but I think like I've seen signs that'd be like, we sold this many trillion burgers and counting. But sorry, I'm
It's all
brain
good.
dead. It was a long weekend.
Bro, I think this is a decent segue into
The cloning process.
no. These foods are really bad for you.
Yes.
They're bad for your health.
Are you shooting at what I was shooting at?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you would
Segue.
assume-
Segue right into it.
I was trying to stay off the topic of COVID, but I guess we'll touch on it.
Okay.
The number one cause of death in America of 2020, you would assume from the pandemic and the urgency of shutting everything down, would be COVID-19. No. I was hoping for a drum roll or something, sorry.
This is the wrong kind of drums, my bad.
Anyway, you'd assume that COVID-19 would have been the number one cause of death with the urgency that everybody had.
Mm-hmm.
But come to find out, the number one cause of death last year and almost every year is heart disease. How come we're not doing anything to stop heart disease? I think the numbers were, you know what? Could you look up real quick how many people die a year from heart disease? I think it was like 628,000 or something like that. People died in 2020 of heart disease. 628,000 people died from heart disease.
You
Only-
still want me to look it up?
Yeah, it's something like that. And then 325,000 people died from COVID. How come we're not focusing on this real pandemic, which is heart disease? Obesity, poor health choices, all this stuff is a big factor in heart disease. And one of the biggest groups of people that died from COVID were people that would also be affected by heart disease. And so it's like, come get this vaccine. You can get free burgers and free fries for this vaccine. But so you're going to contribute to the number one death in the world of which is heart disease. We know that red meats and salt and fatty foods contributes to heart disease, which has almost twice as many deaths a year than COVID.
Heart disease in 2020 was 690,882.
690,000. So yeah, point proven. More than double the amount of people died from COVID from heart disease.
COVID was
325.
345.
345. Okay.
Yeah.
So still more than double.
And cancer came in
And
at
cancer was number
598.
Yeah, so we're not going to focus on what is hurting heart disease because it doesn't make any money. Heart disease is basically a silent killer. Nobody talks about heart disease. Why is nobody talking about the number one killer in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't COVID. It was heart disease. But go ahead, eat all the McDonald's you want, eat unhealthy, don't promote good health choices, sit on your couch, watch TV, stay zoned in and worried about the fucking president, worry about the fucking politics.
Stress.
Stress is
Bro,
another one.
That is killing people worse, I think. I think stress can cause a person to go from young and healthy to old and stressed out looking dude so damn fast. I don't know what the exact statistics are,
that's why I
but
got these crow's feet going on.
bro, 2020 gave me gray hairs and I didn't even know it. Like I didn't feel stressed out. I felt during the pandemic I felt more at peace than I had in a while
We
because
had more time. Were you ever off of work during the pandemic?
I think we had maybe 3 weeks or something like that where we didn't go to work.
Yeah. I think about the same thing.
Yeah.
But I was doing something different than you.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure of date because I was doing nights anyway.
But let me finish.
Yeah.
My point was, I think 2019 stressed me out personally. And so when everybody was stressed out along with me in 2020, I felt less stressed because I had the comfort of everybody having the stress with me. Does that make sense?
I guess, but I don't know. Not necessarily, because I had a lot of stress in 2020. My dad died from heart disease.
Yep.
I had some other personal shit I was going through, and I feel like I was pretty fucking stressed from it. And none of it was related to COVID. It's more related to heart disease than COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's not.
They wouldn't let you go in there and see him or nothing,
no,
right?
Well, they only let us stay for about 10 to 15 minutes because he was in ICU, which is where they also had COVID patients. It was crazy up there. The shit looked like a fucking movie. They had rooms that had zippers around and shit, quarantined. Anyway, that I think COVID was overblown.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's infectious. I get that, and that's why they're like, oh, don't, because if we don't stop this in its tracks, blah, 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 blah. But there's places that weren't following the rules at all, and so the world number was still only 325,000 people. I'm not talking about people infected. I'm talking about people who died from COVID. Only 325,000. Most of the people that got COVID got over it, and so I just am not understanding this.
These statistics also don't take into account that there's underlying conditions that
that's what I was
attributed to their deaths.
If you had heart disease and then got COVID, you're fucked.
Yeah. You're obese, you get COVID, and you're
fucked.
old.
Yeah. Yep, it's been one thing after another with that stuff. But
do you think that because this was blown so out of proportion, like everybody took it that serious, that maybe that did prevent a lot of people from dying?
Yes and no, because like, what are the numbers in places like that aren't as, that aren't first world countries?
Yeah.
What about the places that are poor? Like, what was that place you were talking about? Was it Uganda or something where they didn't follow anything?
With the president that said, yeah, we're gonna take 3 days to pray and then we're done with COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the name.
Because what were the numbers for there? Because 325,000. I think there's more people in Seattle city population than 325,000.
Well, I know that once dude said, we're done talking about COVID, you know what I'm saying? We're done with it. We're declaring our country free of COVID. Then we're not also counting these as COVID deaths. So on paper it's gonna look like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So places that were overdoing it and calling all of these cases COVID cases, it's gonna look like a spike.
Yeah, it was inflated. So,
Yep.
no, I get that, but I'm just saying it's like, what can you look up like what the population of Seattle is or something? Because I feel like Seattle's not a very big city. It's a pretty big city, but it's not like New York or Chicago sized.
724,000
Okay, so
as of 2019.
Only half of the population of Seattle died from COVID, but the whole world had to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no kind of sense. Anyway, I was kind of hoping we'd get off the topic of COVID for this.
Yeah.
Unless you have something else to chime in with.
No,
Because I wanted to ask you, what are your ethics on cloning humans? Well, no. First of all, what are your ethics on cloning plants? We'll start there.
Cloning plants.
Yes.
I don't think I've really thought too deeply about this. I know this happens all the time, especially in marijuana.
Well, but they do it with everything. You just
Yeah.
cut, and it's the same. That's how you skip the seed process,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to fucking process seeds. So I'm assuming they do this in farming as well, cloning plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so, are you fine with that? You know, GMOs,
Well, I don't.
because they're the GMOs are being genetically modified organisms. You know, that's corn used to be tiny, now it's big. Tomatoes used to be small, now they're big.
Mm.
And so we've done that. All right. So you're all right with, you know, because do you shop at the organic section or just the regular section?
I shop in the cheap section.
Okay, so the GMO side. And I mean, and so you obviously don't have a problem with it. So now if they were to do this with cows, lab grown meat, would you be okay with buying a lab grown steak?
Now let's talk about the process in which they're doing this. Are
3D
you
printing? They're 3D printing meat,
Yeah, this seems weird.
but they're using organisms. You can also grow by cloning them. You just you take a piece of the meat that you want cloned.
In plants, when you're doing a clone, what do you do?
Well, it's different because it's growing roots.
Right.
When they're cloning meat, they are taking a piece of whatever, say, the back or something, some kind of muscle, whatever you'd want to get on the cow. Because you can lab grow a heart. You know, you just take someone's cells from a heart, put it in with some fucking whatever the fuck it is. I want to say probably stem cells, and then boom, you can grow organs for people to use during their surgeries.
I was watching a show that I think it was Ancient Aliens maybe, but they're like, we can pretty much grow any organ.
Yeah.
Now, so you want a heart,
but it's unethical because it uses
except the brain.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is
the brain is another story.
Well, yeah, that's true. But my question is it unethical to do that because they have to use stem cells, and the only place to get good stem cells from is aborted babies?
Is that the only place? Or is this just the easiest place and most effective?
Well, it's the most effective. That's what I was saying. The best stem cells come from aborted babies. Because you can get stem cells from placentas, you can get stem cells from umbilical cords. You're going to Google it?
Yeah, where do you get stem cells from? You should have took that placenta.
For what? Made a smoothie out of it? That's disgusting. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not about to blend up Courtney's shit.
All right, let's see.
Sold it. I mean, but that's my point. Is like, do you feel like that's unethical?
Do I feel like
cloning meat is unethical?
Cloning meat is unethical.
Like, would you eat cloned meat if you knew it was cloned, but it was for a good price?
I'd eat anything if I'm hungry. But why are we doing it, I guess, is the thing.
So we don't have to use the farms as much, I guess, I would assume. Probably because it's easier and faster than raising a cattle from fucking a calf to a cow to a bull or a steer.
I'm going to have to talk to, like,
a farmer,
a pastor or something, you know?
Well, why? Because it's not created organically, I should say. Well, that's my other question. So coming from there, my question is, how do you feel about cloning humans?
Mm-hmm.
You're all right with plants. You're iffy about animals or even animal parts. How do you feel about cloning a human heart and then having that in you if you needed a heart transplant?
It's weird, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Would you do it to save your life?
Probably.
Okay, so then how about lab-grown humans?
Like a whole one.
Imagine they took some of your DNA, your stem cell. Okay.
A whole human.
Say your daughter died.
Mm-hmm.
No, knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving the hypothetical because this is what they used in the thing I was watching. They said, say your kid died.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you go from her dying, but you take some of her cells. Would you clone her and then grow her to be the same person? Obviously, it wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be the same person mentally. You wouldn't do that. I mean, I wouldn't either.
So.
I wouldn't either.
It's weird, dude.
If one of my kids died, and I had the opportunity to do that when they're like, hey, we could do this. Do you want to do this, or you want to just bury him? Say that becomes an option. Like, do you want a C-section or do you want to go natural? Maybe in the future the option is going to be like, well, do you want to clone your whoever, significant other, kids? But they said kids. I'm assuming to touch on heartstrings.
I feel like I heard this story about pets too. Like,
yeah, pets
someone's dog dies
too.
and then you get a clone of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
just weird, dude.
Okay, and so my next thought after that is it's obviously gonna look like that person, but it's not gonna be the same mentally as that person because they're not gonna live the exact same experiences and have the exact same outlook on life. That's why everybody varies so differently. But is that consciousness? Are they, if you clone somebody, do they get consciousness, or is consciousness so divine that you can't lab make consciousness? So is a human life not as divine as a naturally born life? Or can you make a human and them still have consciousness because they still go through the science?
I've never met a clone that I know of, so I don't know. But
I've heard of test tube babies.
I would imagine that that clone would have some sort of consciousness, right?
Yeah, but that wouldn't.
But does it have a soul?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is how are you going to split up soul and consciousness? I feel like they are one. Because obviously they're going to have a personality. That's not what I'm calling consciousness. I'm calling consciousness is like you. You are consciousness driving a fucking slab of meat. So do you think that just because when you say someone is soulless, you always think, they're evil or, they're this or that. So do you think a lab-grown human would be evil? Would not have empathy?
I'm not sure.
And so that's the question.
It's weird to think about, man.
Yeah.
Especially the part where you said, would you clone a piece of... Would you alright, say you needed a heart or something. Clone a heart so that you could survive longer.
Yeah.
And the badass guy would be like, nah, I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Let me die. But a lot of people, if it comes down to it, that's why I was thinking. I was like, I probably would. I don't think I'm that tough.
I for sure would. I wouldn't clone any of my kids, but if it came down to saving my life or their life, for sure, give me a lab-grown liver. You could probably take some of my own cells and then grow me a liver specifically to my my fucking this or that. Yeah. I mean, probably not a heart, but maybe a liver or something, But I'm just saying, because I'd assume if you needed a heart transplant, it'd be ASAP. I've heard people waiting on livers for months. And so why not just lab grow that liver?
Yeah. And I think that they've got this down now. I think they've been doing this for a while because the thing that they're tripping on most right now is Alzheimer's disease and stuff that has to do with the brain, because you can get all this. You can get all these parts, right? But your brain's still deteriorating with age.
Yeah.
As you get older, your brain...
It's the oxygen.
It's the oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's... So that's where I'm like, what do we say? Is it ethical to have a lab-grown heart, but is it not ethical to have a lab-grown human? But I mean, because when you look at it, you have test tube babies. If two gay dudes wanted to have a baby, they would need a surrogate mother, but they would have to both ejaculate, and then somehow they mix their DNA, and then they get some eggs from whoever they pick, and that egg they mix it up, and then it's everybody's baby. The mother has the baby for these guys.
What's that dude's freaking name? Oh, he gives me the creeps, dude.
Who?
He is talking about, it's Jamie something. Anyways, he's basically saying, yeah, there's going to be no more sex in the future. I
remember seeing that.
Everything's going to be done in a dish.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is that
because they want to choose the genetics of the kid. designer babies and all that stuff.
Yep.
You pick beforehand.
Do you want a blonde baby?
Yeah.
Do you want your baby to be muscular? I think they're already doing this in China.
Just feels cheap and cheating. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess, yeah, because they're already given. But and then so with that case, if you do have a baby that you got to choose as genetics, is that baby allowed to play sports?
Right.
Is it considered off top, basically fucking?
You got an advantage already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, from birth. Is that fair?
No, it's not.
That's what I'm saying. So,
But then then we're gonna have the Super Bowl for genetic fucking. You know,
you
what
have
I'm
to
saying?
make a whole new league on both sides.
I mean, it's basically.
And I feel like that would
anyway.
still like divide us more, because then you have like this race of superhumans.
The people that can afford it.
Yeah, compared to the poor people that are.
Yeah.
That seems like a ultimate separation type deal. But you never know.
They'll probably do some lottery.
Our kids might be like, oh yeah, this is fucking totally cool, fucking. Because I mean, right now it might be super expensive, but who's to say in the future? You know, just like every technology just gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah.
So who's to say that it doesn't become cheap enough for everybody to do it? Just like,
Except for the iPhone, that's.
I was just thinking that about my cell phone. But every year they add new technology.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like, fucking lost my train of thought. Train of thought. Choo choo. Fucking shit derailed, son.
No, it'd be unfair to the people that could have access to it, and then it'd be. Yeah, imagine your freaking parents made you into this.
Because then it's like, who's the superior race for real?
Yeah.
Are those people going to look down
More
on the people?
more division for sure.
Are those people going to look down on the people that aren't? Oh, we're better than you already physically?
They'll be the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man-made gods.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's some fucking shit.
Like the olden days, like freaking the Romans. What if those gods were genetically modified humans?
No, just
Like-
there's the explosion button.
Yeah. You know, freaking Poseidon or whatever he.
Dude, that would make so much sense for Greek gods.
Yeah.
If they were divinely fucking genetically modified by aliens.
Mm.
And then that's why they're demigods and not gods, because they weren't the. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Is this the ancient aliens theory?
Possibly.
Fuck.
I mean.
Because that would make Hercules half god, half man.
Mm-hmm.
And he had really strong feats of human.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he was genetically modified. That's fucking crazy to think about. History repeats itself.
That's one thing that I've been wondering too. Like, how many times has all this shit happened before?
Well, the Sphinx has watermarks on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fucking basically Egyptian landmass on the edge of Japan underwater. They have sphinxes and pyramids over there.
Oh, the underwater freaking
Yeah,
pyramids,
it's
right?
fucking huge when they are swimming by it. Giant slabs. And how'd they build those? Dinosaurs?
They obviously had scuba gear.
That's funny.
Hey, no, speaking of back in the days, dinosaurs.
You mean dragons?
Yes. Elaborate.
Well, you know, in the Bible they talk about dragons. And in China they talk about dragons. It's part of their thing. In the UK, they talk about dragons, knights fighting dragons and all this stuff. Well,
Dinosaurs.
no, that's what I was going to get at. Like, dinosaurs look exactly like dragons. The only difference is that not all of them fly. I mean, pterodactyls, come on. So you get these stories of people calling them dragons, because the word dinosaur wasn't even created until the 1800s. So it's not like back in the day they're going to say, oh, these dinosaurs, because the word dinosaur wasn't invented till the 1800s. So all these ancient people aren't saying dinosaurs, they're saying dragons. So it's very possible.
And the Bible mentions dragons a few times, doesn't it?
I think it's like 40 times.
One of the dragons is called the Leviathan,
Mm-hmm.
which is a water dragon.
I think, an underwater dragon.
Let's see.
It's Nessie. I mean, it's very possible, because we already know that there's dinosaurs. Dig the dinosaur bones up. We know that they're fucking there. You know that we've never actually found a whole T-Rex, that it's just put together how we think it would look.
For real?
Swear to God. Promise you. Look it up. All the we don't even know if that's how a T-Rex looked. We just got like different pieces that we pieced together. And you know how terrible that is? Have you ever seen a stingray skeleton?
Yeah.
If a scientist found that shit out, they'd be like, oh, it would look like a fucking monkey with a tail. So you already know that these things that they have are wrong in depiction. The only thing I think is bullcrap, but kind of falls along through all history in the Bible, in Chinese, in the UK, all the dragons blow fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand what that's about. I mean, we know they didn't brush their teeth. Maybe they had hot ass breath.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know what to say other than like, maybe they did blow fire. It's just hard to tell what would be.
I mean, how would that be physically possible?
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
A biological creature to blow fire.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe it was an exaggeration of something else, you know? I don't know, it says something about hot like coals.
That's what I said. Maybe their breath was just hot as fuck. But that brings me to the talk about oxygen.
Yes. Well, I also wanted to mention, like, a lot of the monolithic freaking walls and stuff they built back then
Were big for a reason.
Yeah, like, you would want to keep
Dinosaurs out.
yeah, big beasts like that out, and like, otherwise, you guys are doing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those stones were big, big, big.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd just be like a wall around the town, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was just watching this thing. They were talking about a city that was next to Troy, where they built these bricks, and they had like this mortar type shit that came from the earth already, and they would slab it on. It was like some kind of plant secretion, and it would be like concrete basically, and they'd stack it in between the bricks and build it up so fucking high that they would have towns that were 2 stories, because the town would be encased in the walls, and so you'd have the lower level of town and then the upper level of town, which is pretty crazy.
I'm trying to find more stuff about
dinosaurs in the Bible.
Yeah. Dragons. Because when the video I listened to said that God created dragons on the 6th day or something.
No, he said that. Yeah, the 6th day, because there's 7 days, right? God created it in 7 days. They'd say He created it on the 6th day. I mean, because didn't it say that He created all beasts on the 6th day?
Is that what it is?
I want to say so. I mean, I'm not Christian, but I know a lot about Christianity. Mom's like an ordained minister, or was.
On earth there is not his like, a creature without fear. He sees everything that is high. He is king over all the sons of pride.
Is that from the 6th day?
It's from Job 41, 33, 34. Just, yeah.
Just, yeah.
Use Google and Google dragons in the Bible. Interesting to think about, though, that, I mean, I think you're right. Like, the Chinese had dragons in a lot of their architecture.
says the fifth day, creatures that live in the sea and creatures that fly were created. Or on the fifth day. On the sixth day, animals that live in the land, and finally humans were made in the image of God. And so, yeah, it would make sense if they were made on the sixth day. Then you have, sorry.
It's okay.
So, moving back and forth. Yeah, I mean, you have all these depictions all throughout. It's not just in one place. You know, it's not one mass. You know, it's not like, oh, dragons only come from Europe or dragons only come from China. Dragons are in all these different places, and they're depicted to look different. Well, we know the different dinosaurs look different. And so, I mean, who's to say? And then we know that the oxygen content back then was extremely epic. So it would make sense for these dinosaurs with little noses to be able to breathe and live long. And then more oxygen would probably make people live longer as well, which coincides with what the Bible says and a lot of other things say. Because you have dynasties and all sorts of things in China that lasted forever.
And people that lived really, really long lives. How do we make more oxygen?
Yeah, I have no fucking idea. But you know you can get oxygen poisoning, right?
Yeah.
Too much oxygen isn't good. It would just have to be the right amount. I mean, plus plastic. You get plastic causing cancer.
All kinds of weird stuff.
I did want to touch on population control for that matter. We can't let people live too long.
True. And I want you to decide who gets to live longer than everybody else too.
No, I'm not deciding shit.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Who gets to decide?
I would say let's leave it alone. Let's just live naturally.
Yeah.
You don't need to live longer because the older you get, the more slew of health problems you have. And who wants to be like Rockefeller and change their heart every 6 months? You know what I mean?
And Joe Biden.
What? What?
Who wants to be like that?
Look at her over there with her legs crossed, looking like she's 19.
Bro, imagine if Trump said that.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the news coverage? Where's the news coverage? Come on, man. This man's a pedophile.
That's why they wanted to keep him fucking silent through the whole election.
Of course.
They is hiding his ass.
He is senile.
He'd have been saying some wild shit.
Man, I've been seeing a bunch of stuff that shows like these guys are either CGI or fucking someone has a mask on. I've seen black wrist Joe Biden's and he's a reptilian. I think they're body doubles because if somebody knows where your president is, chances are an assassination is pretty high, especially when he's still in election. But
Trump had no fucking body doubles.
Bullshit, bro. Bullshit. 100% bullshit. You think that they're gonna be getting on these planes? Did you just pause it?
No.
We're good?
Yeah, I was tripping.
This is why we need a Jamie.
All right, go on. So you think Trump had a body double? I think Trump was out here. He was out here for real.
I don't think so. I'm telling you, that when you're that hated by a whole group of people, come on.
But the CGI is getting pretty damn crazy, dude. You seen the fake Tom Cruise?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that's my point. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by trying to make my phone work. So when you have a lot of notoriety, you're the most powerful man in the world almost. You are hated by half of the country because everybody wants to play team politics. I don't care who you are, Trump or Biden. You are going to get body doubles so you don't end up like JFK.
Okay, go on.
What do you mean go on? Like, that's my point.
I think no. I didn't see no fake Trump.
Well, that's
I've seen some pretty iffy fucking Biden shit though.
because nobody was focused on what was going on with Trump that way. They were only focused on what he was saying.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a fuck about, oh, let's like speculate and look at these little details going on with Trump because they were so flabbergasted by, oh, he said mean tweets. But I don't care who you are. If I was the president, I'd for sure have body doubles. Movie stars have body doubles.
Yeah, I know they do. But body doubles giving speeches?
I mean, that fool had yes, for sure. How many people sound like Trump?
There's a lot of good impersonators.
That's what I'm saying. And not only that, Trump had a fucking turkey neck, so a mask would be real easy to put on his ass.
Turkey neck.
He had a real good pussy neck. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, politician or not. If you could be clowned on, you're getting clowned on. I don't care. That's why I said I don't take sides. If the shit's funny, the shit's funny. That's why there's no more good comedy movies, because everybody's afraid of getting canceled.
Yeah.
When's the last time you seen a good comedy movie?
Haven't.
That's what I'm saying. I think the last one that I seen was the shit from was Good Boys. That was produced by Seth Rogen. Speaking of Seth Rogen, did you see him shaved?
Yes.
Looking like a 90s dad.
Yes.
Like I said, body doubles. I was just playing.
Damn, I had a good one, man. And it won't let me see it. Anyways, do you remember 9/11?
Kind of.
Okay, so
I was 6 years old.
There was a plane that was headed to the Capitol.
The Pentagon?
That didn't make it the Capitol.
I didn't know that.
Crashed in a field.
Oh.
Anyways.
Okay. I know the Pentagon one was bullshit.
There was a dude that was on the plane, right? And supposedly he, instead of calling his family to say goodbye and all that, right? He knew that the plane was taken by terrorists and that they had a plan to crash into the Capitol. This is how ridiculous this is. He knew where they were going, right? So he calls the FBI instead of his family to ask them what he should do, right? And then he said something to the effect like, all right, I'm going to go try to take on these terrorists. Damn, I wish I had the exact words. It was a funny video.
I think it's all bullshit. I think people did lose their lives. That shit was 100% real. I think the Twin Towers collapsed. That was 100% real. But I think it was all a fucking inside job. Did you see the painting in Epstein's house?
Yep.
2 towers knocked over with blocks and George Bush sitting there flying
Paper airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was, it's all.
But how unbelievable is that story that this guy calls the FBI? He has the FBI's phone number and says, like,
also,
I think he said, like, we're ready to roll or something.
Who had a cell phone that worked that high up in the air?
I don't know, dude. He told them where they were going. And then apparently he tried.
Did he speak?
He tried to save the plane. So he saved him and other passengers saved that plane from hitting the Capitol when it crashed in the field and everybody died.
He saved it? How did he save it? How did it go down?
Because he fought the terrorists on the plane.
I'm calling bullshit
off
top. That is some crazy shit. Is he Jason Bourne?
Yeah.
Fuck. There's no way.
It's either like a really heroic fucking story and it's real, or it's bullshit and it sounds
if
like
it's real,
bullshit.
why didn't they make a movie about it?
I'm sure they have.
I feel like Hollywood would have picked
Damn,
that shit
I wish
up.
I knew his number.
His number? How did he have the FBI's number in 2001? He couldn't Google it on his phone.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god!
I can't even look at it. It says I need to sign in because it's inappropriate.
On what?
On YouTube. There's a dude.
Why are you not signed in on YouTube already?
It should be coolest last words in history. I'm gonna see if I can look it up.
Coolest last words in history. Get out of here. This is crazy. I wanted to ask you something though about farming.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to control the people?
Food.
Control the food source. If we
Water.
can starve them out. Yep. Well, not only is Bill Gates controlling the farming lands, but we're being told that because of the amount of waste from 2020 and there not being restaurants open, instead of having these farmers donate their food or, try and sell their food in other places, the government said, we'll give you 1.5%, like time and a half of the subsidiaries that we would give you if you just destroy and burn your crops, because there's an overtly amount over whatever. The food is more than there usually is because these restaurants weren't open, and they're telling these farmers, destroy your crops.
That makes no sense.
I agree. They should be. We have a homeless problem.
There's
crazy.
world hunger.
That's what I'm saying. Give the food away. Why are we destroying crops? That's what I'm saying.
And we're paying them extra to do it?
Yes.
Why do we pay anybody extra?
Well, why wouldn't you say, all right, we'll pay you extra to give it away for free?
It's weird, dude.
You would assume that, okay,
like
let's give it away for free instead. Nope. Not them. It's fucking government for you.
So is that a plan to cause a food shortage?
I mean, supposedly it's because we have more food than we know what to do with. And I mean, I don't know, because I've been going to the store lately, seen a rotten tomato on a shelf. I picked up some strawberries, was looking at them, and was like, wow, this strawberry right here on top is molding.
I see that all the time, though. Maybe you're just noticing it more because you've heard this story. That happens a lot.
Well, I mean, it happened 2 days in a row. That's why I noticed it. The first day I went to go get some tomatoes, and I was like, the guy was stocking. I was like, hey, this tomato right here is molding. He was like, oh, thanks. Anytime you see that, let me know so it doesn't infect the other tomatoes. And then when I picked up the strawberries was the next day, and I was looking for good strawberries. Matter of fact, I knew the strawberries were GMO'd because I found one that was like 2 strawberries in one. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Let me see if I can. I want people to know this story.
Circling back.
Instead of calling his family, two of which planes hit the World Trade Center and the other one hit the Pentagon. And the fourth plane, which was headed straight for the Capitol, never made it. And that's because of this guy named Todd Beaner. Instead of calling his family and telling him he loves them, he decided to take actions into his own hands. He immediately got in contact with the FBI. But after talking to the FBI, they realized he had no other options. He told the FBI that him and a few passengers are going to try to destroy the terrorists and take back the plane. But before he hung up the phone with the FBI, his last words were, okay, my fellow Americans, let's roll. He did all he could in the time he had, ended up crashing in a field, saving thousands of people that were in the Capitol at that time.
Can we shout out whoever posted that?
Yeah. Josh Lil J.
Josh Lil J?
Yeah, I think he's got a TikTok too because these are all really short videos.
I don't know if I believe that story.
Let's roll, my fellow Americans, is his last words to the FBI.
So first of all, the Taliban was trained by the CIA. And so if you call the FBI, I'm calling bullshit that they'd be able to handle it the correct way. Secondly, if the FBI... How the fuck did you get their number, dog? Like you just had that shit on speed dial?
Yeah.
We need to start calling people in, see if we can get interviews with these people. Just reach out, hey, we got a podcast. Yeah, because I'm ready to roll.
We do got to try the calling feature. We'll do that. We'll have some people calling. We still got to call your buddy.
I would just like to reach out. Yeah, I mean, my boys, I want to have him speak to us on positivity, and then my other homeboy, I want to speak to him on his thoughts between quantum physics and how it proves that God is real.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this I wanted to speak on one thing with this cosmic consciousness. So my daughter, who was just born, was born on the death date of my dad. 1 year exactly from the day my dad died. She was born at 1:57 p.m. He died at 2 p.m. And who's to say that he didn't die at 1:57 p.m. and the nurses didn't just knock it off by a couple minutes because they had somebody go into cardiac arrest and die?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like it feels like the energy recycled and was put back into the, back into the collective cosmic consciousness. Because I was kind of felt good about my cosmic consciousness thing, because after watching this Into the Wormhole, they kind of proved it, but they came up with a way better name. I said collective consciousness, and they called it cosmic consciousness.
And we call it God.
And you guys call it God, yeah. And so my boy says collective consciousness, cosmic consciousness is the how, and you guys focus on the why. Religion focuses on the why, which is, God or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like it recycled. I feel like the energy was recycled. It's just real odd. Like, how coincidental is it that my daughter is born a year after my dad died?
Down to the minutes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Almost.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy.
I think, how else is God going to get to you, Josh?
You're trying to give me
that's
about to get my
that's
Elon
pretty
on
amazing,
real quick.
dude.
It is pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
It felt like it was affirmed to me that what I thought was real, because it felt recycled.
God is amazing, man. It's a bittersweet day.
Well, and the crazy part is everybody was messaging me that day talking about, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm not the kind of person that does death dates. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to celebrate the day this person died or whatever, like, that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't celebrate death. Maybe I'm just weird for that.
No. Some people do. It's good to remember, though.
No, I mean, yeah, no, I get that, but I'd rather, like, remember him on his birthday or something.
Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when it comes down to energy recycling, it almost seems too fucking perfect for it to be almost exactly a year down to the minutes.
Yeah.
After he died.
Yep, that is pretty coincidental.
I mean, how many
It's
things
divine.
How many things can be coincidental in my fucking life before it's not coincidental?
Yeah. I'm happy.
What, you feel like I'm coming around?
Yep. I do. Maybe a little bit.
I feel more spiritual.
Yeah.
But I don't feel more religious.
Well, that's the weird thing, dude. Religion is a weird thing. And your relationship with God, whatever you want to call it, the cosmic consciousness or whatever, as long as you have that relationship and understand what it's doing and you have an appreciation for it, I think, then you're on you're going the right direction. And religion and religious people make it weird sometimes,
they do,
dude.
and that's my problem with religion, is I feel like it's man-made, and I feel like it's more divine than that. I feel like consciousness is more divine than do this, and that, and this is how you need to live, and you need to do it like this, or your consciousness isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I feel like it is more divine. I feel like if you hold love in your heart, then that is what it is. My mom called me a fucking hippie. And I mean, I guess I kind of sound like a hippie.
The headband and
no, not even the hip, not even just the headband. Just
that's
like
an awesome headband, by the way.
America,
baby.
But it's like, I get where she's coming from, because I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to build a compound, get a couple things, buy some land, and live off the grid. You know, man, and I like smoking marijuana, and gonna go ahead and believe that I'm able to just do what I put my mind to, man, and just want everybody to be at peace. I don't understand why we're all just picking teams, bro, and just really is harshing my vibe with this
It's the new. You're the new hippie,
That's yeah, I guess. Which is cool.
bro.
I have nothing against hippies.
The positivity is
Yeah, no, that's
the
where
important part.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that, is the positivity. I think that we should all be positive.
Yep. And show gratitude. Gratitude is so...
Yeah, 2020 humbled the shit out of me.
Yeah. Dude, I felt like it was a punishment. We were acting, as Americans, we were acting like children. Ungrateful
What do
children.
you mean were?
That's what it felt like. You know?
Like it got worse.
I felt like that's one of the thoughts that came to my mind was like, you guys are ungrateful children, and this is kind of like a timeout, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
But it's important to be grateful. Think about what you have and how you got it.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying, is I lost a lot of shit last year, so it made me thankful.
Mm-hmm.
Humbled me, made me happy for what I do have.
Yep.
And so it was eye-opening. I will say that it was probably fucking one of the worst years of my life, and it wasn't even due to COVID. I kind of enjoyed my vacation for a little bit, and then once it came down to the money, I was like, fuck, I need to get back on that horse.
But do you feel like you got what you needed out of it? Like,
A life experience-wise, yes. I feel like I didn't need my dad to die, but
No,
the life
of course
experience of
not, dude.
everything, you know, and financially and all that stuff, I feel like being able to get through it and still being like, okay, well, I have me and I have all my essential things that I need, so I should just be thankful for what I have instead of complaining about what I don't have.
yeah.
And, you know, it makes you more grateful.
And that mindset
Yeah.
to understand what it actually takes
Well, and
to
just
get what you want.
even just the mindset to overcome
Yep.
whatever.
I think a lot of people learn that, and now we need to learn how to get along. You know?
Yeah, I guess so. There's only one way to get along, is move the center back to the center.
Yeah.
We got to quit playing these team sports, man. You got to quit playing fucking left field, right field. It's all, if we're all on the same team. They're just trying to divide and conquer. That's the easiest way, is like make the people fight amongst themselves instead of realize that, hey, we have the power to fucking change and do what we need.
Yep.
And it's an everyday struggle.
Power struggle.
Yeah, and if they can keep us fighting, then they have more power, because they're like, hey, these guys aren't doing well. Hey, these guys are the problem, when really it's not the fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
We're headed down a path that's terrible, and I just wish that we could get the middle back. I want a middle ground again. Tired of the fucking bullshit fighting over small little semantics.
I think we all agree on a lot more than we disagree on.
I know, and people are
And
pushing a narrative that if you disagree on something, then that is the end of the fucking world.
That's the end of your conversation with that
Yeah.
person, and you'll never get to the middle.
I've seen people talking about, oh, I would never have a Democrat friend. Oh,
Yeah.
I would never have a Republican friend. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
It's good to not live in an echo chamber. Get the fuck out of your echo chamber and fucking hear both sides of the story.
Yeah.
I agree with some shit the Democrats have, and I agree with some shit Republicans have, and I agree a lot with what libertarians have to say. And it's a constant struggle. Constant. Yeah.
We are working on it. We're trying to show the faults. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. But we can show how idiotic some of this shit is, you know?
Yeah.
How stupid it sounds, and
How stupid it sounds. I mean, how stupid it fucking is. This is terrible.
yep.
But, you know, it's good for the ratings.
Yeah.
It's good to play team sports if half the country is on your side. Either side. Fox is great for the Republican narrative, and Democrat, or CNN's great for the Democrat narrative. So I get my news from PBS. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that
We're an hour in now.
Yeah,
So
I think that we should probably cut it so we don't have people not watch all the way through.
yep.
Do appreciate it. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Thank you to those who sacrificed their lives for the freedom of this country. And I apologize for these little ungrateful bastards. America. Yup, we out. Pale Horse. Peace.
The Pale Horse Podcast. It's time to wake up the sleeping. Subscribe and like for more videos. Stay informed.